Welcome to Reaching Abundance. I'm Virginia Elder, your host. This is the podcast where you get weekly cliff notes on developing mental fortitude and podcast marketing strategies from top business owners. Ready to level up your show? Start by booking a call with me using the link in the episode description. Let's get into the episode. Today, we're tackling podcast efficiency, time-saving tips for business owners to shine with less effort. If you've ever thought, I don't have time to record a podcast, or how do people squeeze podcasting into their already busy schedule? This episode will help illuminate the path. Let's dive into how to make podcasting sustainable, manageable, and impactful for your business. Since you're here, I'm assuming you're a busy business owner too, which means time is your most valuable resource. And a podcast is one of the best tools to build authority and connect with your ideal clients. And I'm here to tell you that you can host and record great episodes without them consuming hours of your week or already jam-packed month. With the right systems in place, you can consistently release high-quality content without spending your nights editing or stressing over what to say because of these workflows and strategies I'm about to share that save time and energy. Because the idea is, I want you to be able to focus on what matters most, whether that's talking to more leads or enjoying free time, alone or with loved ones. My number one recommendation is batching. Batch recording and time blocking are your secret weapons for working efficiently and staying focused. Here's how to make it work for your podcast. For one, schedule monthly idea sessions. Block time on your calendar for brainstorming. Schedule about 30 minutes per episode where you jot down what your audience asks about or the services they should know more about. Make your ideation session distraction-free. Grab a coffee, use a pen and paper, and stay away from screens. Sometimes a change of scenery, like sitting at your kitchen table or visiting a coffee shop instead of sitting at your desk, can spark creativity and keep you focused. Next, I want you to schedule recording days on your calendar. Choose one day a month to record multiple episodes in one go. For a weekly show, aim to record 5 episodes so you've got extras ready for holidays, vacations, or when you just need a break. Fewer recording days means fewer scheduling conflicts, and when you only have one day per month where you have to record, it's less likely that something will come up on that one day. And since consistency keeps your show running smoothly, this one day dedicated to your show each month is super important. My third tip here is to prepare ahead of time using an outline. I don't want you to go completely off the cuff, but I also don't want you to be completely scripted. So I want you to use an outline to stay on track and avoid tangents. If scripting is more your style, schedule time beforehand, that's before your recording day, to script your episodes. Writing a 15-minute solo episode might take 30 to 45 minutes, even with the help of ChatGPT, because you'll still need to take what AI says you should say and tweak it to where it actually sounds like something you would really say in real life. Being prepared with your script or your outlines ahead of your recording day will make that time-blocked recording session much faster, stress-free, and more efficient. Batching creates a system that saves time and keeps your podcast consistent, leaving you free for all the other work days in the month to focus on your business. This is where we get to simplifying your recording process. So once you've mapped out your recording days, your scripting time, and you have time blocked for your idea sessions, all the pre-work is done. So when it comes to your actual recording day, we need to use your time really efficiently. Recording really should be as easy as just turning on your mic, hitting record on your software, and going. However, there are barriers. Things like dead batteries, clutter, or needing to set up lighting can delay you from just getting in there and hitting record. If you find yourself saying, I can't record until I move this chair, that's a barrier. Here's how to make recording smoother. Set up your recording space ahead of time. Keep your mic, camera, and other equipment plugged in and ready. If something needs setting up, like lighting, for example, make it quick and accessible. I want you to be able to walk into your recording space, set up a couple of things within 10 minutes or less, and be able to hit record. The next tip is to create a quiet zone. Record when distractions are minimal. The dogs need to be outside, the kids need to be at school, and it needs to not be the day that your lawn crew or cleaning lady comes to visit your house. You also need to silence your phone and any notifications from your computer or any other electronics around. Think about what you can do to make sure that your recording is uninterrupted and has as little background noise as possible. The third tip here is to test your tech. Always do a quick mic and camera test. It saves you from surprises like settings mysteriously changing or a cord accidentally becoming unplugged. The fourth tip here is to review your outline. Before you hit record and expect to just deliver a great monologue, review your outline, refresh your memory, and get reinvigorated about the key points that prompted you to draft this episode in the first place. This little review process helps you speak authentically and stay on track. Now let's get into a few efficiency tips and things that will help you connect with your audience when you're actually in the chair, mic on, camera on, doing your thing. One is that you need to speak to a single ideal client. I want you to use words like you and your so that the listener or viewer feels like you're speaking just to them. The second tip here is to keep a glass of water handy. Pause to reset if needed. It's easier to edit out an entire pause, take a sip of water, reset, and restart a sentence than it is if you stifled a cough and tried to force your way through the sentence. The editing team in that situation probably cannot fix that stifled cough and those couple of awkward words as you're trying to get through that sentence. Whereas they would be able to edit the whole section out if you coughed, paused, took a drink of water, backed up a couple sentences, and started that section over. And this brings us to the third tip for when the camera is on. If you make a mistake, stop, back up, and repeat the last sentence or two, leading into and past the space where you did make a mistake. This gives your editor several clean options and opportunities for a seamless cut, especially if you're conscious about holding your head in the same way or positioning your body in the same way you were before you made the mistake. A little homework I'd like to assign to you right here is to make a pre-recording checklist with steps that will help you hit record efficiently without any kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot to do this or that. So include detailed steps on your checklist, like turning off fans, switching SD cards, checking batteries, or even if you're recording in a physical space and you're on video, things like lighting a candle or turning on some backlighting. Streamlining your routine makes recording stress-free and efficient, and this checklist will only help you. Now, after you record comes the post-production and editing portion. Editing is the number one thing that DIY podcasters say takes up their time. So let's break down the types of editing to help you decide what to outsource and when to outsource. Some shows produce episodes with zero editing. They leave all the ums, mistakes, and lip smacks in. While this might work for live content like Facebook or YouTube Lives, podcasts are often in people's ears in the form of earbuds. No one wants to hear spit sounds and lip smacks and salivary noises in between your words. Your professional image depends on this. Even if you only want minimal edits to the dialogue, at the very least, background noise and distracting sounds like salivary clicks should be removed. There are 3 levels of editing. Level 1 is just basic editing. It's where the editor removes obvious mistakes and dead space with minimal noise reduction. It's quick and is often based on what they see in your sound waves rather than listening to every word of your show. It often does not deliver a fully professional result. This type of editing is not aligned with the high standards we bring at Podcast Abundance. The second level of editing is detailed editing. This is where every word is reviewed. We reduce ums, clicks, and background noise while sweetening your tone just a little bit and cutting anything that doesn't add value to the conversation. This ensures you sound confident and professional and reduces the number of verbal crutches and hesitations that you might naturally present. The third level is conversational editing. We go even deeper, reviewing the entire episode through the lens of your brand's vision and image. We cut sentences or sections that don't serve your vision, remove off-putting comments, and refine conversations with care to ensure that you and your guest are presented in the best light. Now, DIY editing might allow you to touch all 3 levels of editing, so basic, detailed, and conversational, but it's slower and less precise without professional tools or expertise. However, editing your own episodes helps you learn your speech habits and reveals, quite frankly, how time-consuming the process can be. These frustrations that you might experience while you're DIYing your edits highlights the value of outsourcing your editing to an expert. When you are offloading 3+ hours of editing for a 30-minute or 1-hour episode to an experienced editor, you know how much frustration and time you're buying back for yourself. So this is a really important process to at least try to edit one episode here or there, just to be aware of the amount of work that goes into creating a polished episode. Now, here's your action step for this section. Evaluate where your time goes. This is what all business owners should be doing at least once a month in every aspect of their business, not just when it comes to marketing or podcasting or creating a YouTube video. If you're DIYing the post-production and editing of your show, ask yourself, how much time are you spending on editing? What could you achieve if you had that time back? And could outsourcing improve your results while freeing you up to focus on either what you love or for more time to talk to potential clients in your business? These are key questions to ask yourself about your podcasting process and really everything else in your business as well. Let's circle back to how we began this episode with batching your scripting and recording time using calendar appointments. Here's what a sustainable podcasting schedule might look like. You'll have a monthly commitment of between 1 and 5 hours, depending on how long of a show you're creating, for brainstorming and outlining. Or if you're conducting interviews, you'll use this 1 to 5 hours to coordinate with guests, book and schedule calls, get waivers signed, collect headshots, all of that stuff. Ideally, this is a half day or a full day once a month where you just get it all done in one fell swoop. Then you have a monthly commitment of 1 to 5 hours for recording. Again, this is completely dependent upon how long your episodes are, perhaps how complicated your episodes are. If you have lots of segments, you're going to need a bit more time. And this should be time blocked as just 1 or 2 at most days per month so that conflicts are less likely to arise. If you think you're going to do something every Thursday at 10 a.m., it's inevitable that something will come up, and one of those Thursdays, if not more, are going to get sabotaged. So when you limit your brainstorming time or your recording time to just 1 full day per month and it's completely blocked off, you're more likely to get your work done in that limited time and you're less likely to have a conflict. Now, the third variable here is that if you're a control freak and you absolutely insist on reviewing your podcast manager's work, you do need to add time to your schedule to review show notes and approve edits. With Podcast Abundance, we get through this within the first 60 days of working together so that you're very quickly at a point where you don't even have to review your show because we are so on the same wavelength. So that's it. In just 1 to 2 days per month, you can be producing a consistent weekly podcast and have everything done for your show. So this is what I'm talking about, where I want the majority of your time to be able to be either free time or to focus on business growth, which is why I want your pre-production and recording done, like I said, in just 2 or less days per month. As we bring this episode to a close, here are a few action steps. 1, block off time for your monthly ideation and recording sessions. 2, decide which pieces of the process you want to handle and delegate the rest. 3, streamline your workflow and strategic approach by working with a coach or a podcast manager. I help with both of these things. I really hope this advice on time blocking and batch recording has sparked some ideas for you. Consistency is key to growing your podcast, and reducing the barriers to recording can make all the difference. When your pre-recording process, ideating, outlining, and setup is streamlined, recording feels less overwhelming. That's when you're more likely to follow through on your goal of producing a weekly show that you're actually proud of. Remember, the systems we've talked about today aren't just about saving time. They're about making it easier for you to show up, deliver value, and build the authority and visibility your business deserves. If you're still unsure how to map out a batching or time blocking schedule, or if you're trying to estimate how much time you'll need to make this work, I'd love to help. Let's hop on a call to talk through your goals and figure out a system that fits your life and business. You're not in this alone, and I'm here to support you every single step of the way. Until next time, Keep taking those small steps toward creating the podcast and the business you've envisioned. I'd love to hear which piece of this conversation meant the most to you today. Head to reachingabundance.com/convo. If you're ready to market your business effectively with a podcast, let's talk. Click the book a call link in the description and I'll take it from there. Thanks for listening to Reaching Abundance. I'm Virginia Elder, and I'll be back next week with another insightful episode for you. Follow me on Instagram @podcastabundance to stay connected in the meantime.